Good morning, good afternoon. I was introduced. My name is on the screen. I'm from the neck country in northern Arizona. Basizinin Sean Toricini, Basistini, Hani Dasichi, Kinchini Dasanala. I am broadcasting from Kienta Department of Corrections. I'll go ahead and do my presentation if I can figure out how to do this. Oh, here we are. So, can you see that? Okay, this presentation is on session 6 of the Fatherhood is Sacred, Motherhood is Sacred curriculum book. I found out through our clan system, Mr. Al Pooley is my maternal uncle, and I'm proud to show his photograph on my presentation. And so we open all our sessions with the 5 foundation that Mr. Pooley talks about: creator, choice, teachable, wisdom, and service. I think everybody on this presentation is a facilitator, so we kind of understand what the five foundation is. So on the next slide, this is session 6, being teachable. Teachable means to be committed and devoted to truth. One of the fundamental aspects of being teachable, to become open-minded, is to bring yourself about the truth about yourself, the truth from your past, the truth to your present. If you know how to understand the truth about yourself, you actually become open-minded. So on our session, I want to ask, what is the most important ingredient in making chili? Anybody? What's the most important ingredient in making chili? I heard
Would
bean.
it be sweat?
The what?
I say sweat.
The sweat. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. This is Isaac. Hi, everybody. I'm just a guest here. I got um, the information passed on to me here in San Felipe Pueblo, New Mexico. So I'm just a guest here. I'm not a facilitator. Hi, everybody. I'll be sitting in today. Just trying to get some good knowledge. So thank you, everybody.
The most important ingredient in making chili is chili, right? That's why it's called chili. So the most important
Yes.
ingredient in being teachable is truth. Fathers and mothers must love truth. Truth. Our communities are often filled with gossip, rumors, lies, and those destroy good friendship, and they destroy our great native nations, even destroys families, relationship. So if we're not careful, gossip will destroy our great nations. Fathers and mothers must be devoted to bringing truth to their children. So, recognizing the truth. Recognizing the truth is a lot harder, especially with people growing up with traumatic childhood or they were not raised at home with healthy parents. So oftentimes people are not able to recognize the truth, even if it's presented to them in a clear and simple manner. How tragic is this? A person has the ability to recognize truth when they see it. And like I said, a lot of the experiences that we go through, some people call it historical trauma or intergenerational, prevents us from realizing and understanding the truth. So, as a mother, as a father, we must recognize and teach our children and bring them truth. Malcolm, I just realized something. We said we're gonna open with a prayer from Darlene. Darlene, are you still online? Or she went off to lunch? So oftentimes somebody may look for friendship or have to bring them happiness and fulfillment. They look in many places such as bars, parties, and other social events. A lot of the times we may not understand or recognize that our truest friends are already in our life. There are children that, as my boss usually says out loud, monkey see, monkey do. So if we live a true life in front of our children, they're going to live a true life themselves. So, truth to becoming teachable. There are many truths we can use in our lives, and we recognize it through kindness, patience, hope, honesty, gratitude, humility, loyalty, love, fidelity, forgiveness, kindness, right? Kindness. Well, being teachable, let me back up a little bit, is to learn about yourself first. Have an open and accepting frame of mind, able to listen and understand others' point of view, being able to learn, not impaired by substances or physical limitation. To learn the truth or to know the truth, you have to listen with your ears and your heart. You have to listen or look with your eyes and your heart and feel with your body and your heart. Why do we include the heart? If it is quite possible that what you hear, what you see, and can deceive you and mislead you into understanding the truth. So if you can learn the truth about yourself, it allows you to open your mind and open your heart. So recognizing the truth. Parents, let's start by bringing truth to one another. And one of the ways that we try to seek truth, like I said in the couple of slides back, we are physically attractive, wealthy, or try to impress people, and that can corrupt the truth. And we can hide behind some of these, the way we should go about it, especially with social media, having the prettiest car, the latest iPhone, that's gonna disrupt it. and we're not going to be truthful. So, benefit of being teachable is loving the truth. It'll bring appreciation, eliminate bitterness, and unite families. Help identify appropriate solution to problems. So we're gonna learn how to be teachable by learning about kindness. Kindly speaks to others, perform good acts, is thoughtful and considerate, is gentle and compassionate. It's understanding and not judging, wants to help others, loves peace and fairness. So kindness begins with me. Why do we have to be mean and unkind to others? Let us first look at our home. Parents who raise their anger over small and unimportant issues bring fear to the family. And children will feel unwanted, out of place in their home. When you are unkind, loved ones will often turn against you. There is no happy ending in a unkind person. There is always a happy ending in a kind-hearted person. So, what is being kind? Just smiling at somebody or opening the door and being patient. So there's a story in here that we sing or we read off the book. It's about the sun and the wind. And the wind likes to be mischievous and causes temperature change, requiring somebody to put on their jacket or to disrupt their journey. But the sun is kind. So when the sun smiles, it gets warm and makes the person take their jacket off and be on their way. That's patience. Patience is a precious and rare virtue and could be possibly the foundation of all virtue. Patience. I can try to portray I have patience, but not too long ago, I learned I don't have patience. I was at the junction. There was a grandma right in front of me. The light was red, but you could turn on a red to the right. That was in my brain. But I found out later on you're not supposed to do that. That's against the law. So I was sitting there going, that's how I understand I'm not patient at all. So it lifts, improves, and strengthens our lives, bringing goodness and stability to our family. More than simply waiting, but working towards worthwhile goals and staying with something until the end. And that's the responsibility of a good parent, right? Staying with your children until they grow up, until they move out on their own. Um, Delaying immediate gratification for future benefits. I like this line, a true measure of maturity. What is maturity, right? I want everybody to think about what is maturity? How do you become mature? So Mr. Pooley eloquently explains right here, learn patience, learn to be kind, maturity will come on its own. Like I was talking about, being at the junction. Impatient, on the other hand, is a symptom of selfishness and immaturity. It leads people to believe they are more important than others. Today is one of the most difficult things to do is wait because we're surrounded by instant messaging, instant food, and instant information. If we don't know something, what do? We Google it. So we became an impatient society. We get upset over small things, waiting for grandma to turn right on a red light, being behind a slow driver. We're in full tourist season here in northern Arizona. We got Canyon de Chelly, Monument Valley, Grand Canyon. Oh, all these retirees are driving 55 miles an hour in gigantic rental.
Matthew,
Yeah.
um, our slide is still on the first. We're still on the cover page.
Mr. Dempsey, are you? I can hear you. Let's try it again. How about now?
Yep, that's patience right there.
Okay. Okay, cool. Now mine's not working. So hope the next virtue that we will be discussing is hope. Everyone needs hope. Hope for yourself, hope for your family, hope for your community. Hope brings meaning to life, which leads to greater confidence. In our language, the Dana language, we call hope sihisin. And I teach that a lot. Um, Hope comes from the Creator. Hope comes from our sleep when we recharge our battery at night, our hopes and dreams. So there is a direct connection between gratitude and hope. The more grateful we are for what we have, the more hope we hold for the future. So there is more hope we are for the more hope we are for, the more we can hope we hold for the future. Hope is not wishful thinking nor fantasizing about the future. Hope is the belief in a better future. Hope is not grounded in truth, it can become destructive. Then it becomes daydreaming or wishing. The opposite of hope is despair. We might feel empty inside or alone. You may feel like quitting. Doubts and despair work together the same way hope and faith together. When you lose hope, you will doubt yourself. So, honesty. What is honesty, right? The root word of honesty is honor, honorable. So, an honest person is sincere, is a lover of truth and justice. Free from lies and deception, free of cheating and stealing. honest in both words and action. When you are honest, you can find peace of mind and self-respect. I like teaching about honesty. One of the number one thing that you can learn about honesty, if you don't have guilt, if you don't have you mistreated or lied to people, you can sleep better at night. Honestly, it can happen. When we're in addiction, when we're lying to feed our addiction, we have guilt, we have our conscience being disrupted. But once we learn the truth, we can become honest. You can go to sleep on time. So when you are honest, you will have a peace of mind and self-respect. You enjoy the respect of others because you are trustworthy. This strengthens relationship with family members, friends, and others. You grow stronger and bring honor to your good name and to your family. You become an honorable person. We must understand that honesty requires courage and sacrifice, especially when dishonesty is often the easy way out. Okay? We must strive to become honest by first looking carefully at our own lives. It is said that we are completely honest. You cannot be corrupted. Gratitude inspires and motivates, leads to happiness, makes what is great even greater, helps us develop greater devotion to our family, leads to forgiveness, which produces more gratitude. What are you grateful for? One of the worst adversity happened within recent years. They called it COVID. We were very restricted. People had to be put on ventilators. And today I hear grandmas, grandpas express gratitude when they pray to Creator. One of the first things I hear is thank you for allowing me to breathe good air. Maybe sometimes adversity has to come into our life to understand that we have to be grateful for what we have. That's where help us develop greater devotion and to our family leads to forgiveness, which produces more gratitude. So some people always see the negative in their life and soon become ungrateful, living in misery. On the other hand, a grateful person is happy, uplifting. They're just a pleasure to be around. Just to hear them giggle or laugh, it can lift you up. Even when you're facing challenges and trials in life, with gratitude in our life, great things happen. Example, if gratitude is not said or shown, then there is no gratitude. By expressing gratitude through our words and action, it becomes an honorable act. It is a key to a better and happy life. Our ancestors were grateful and generous. This is the very nature of our native people and must return to them through us. Humility Everybody, when they hear humility, they think it's the most embarrassing aspects of life. No, that could be embarrassing, but humility is what makes us who we are today. We learn from our mistakes. A humble person has patience, is full of love, is quick to apologize, is hard to discourage, takes time to study the facts, is quick to confess his mistakes, understand the need for spiritual development. So a humble person recognizes and acknowledges that their true talents and ability, strength do not come from just within. People who are grateful and humble do not look for power, status, fame, or fortune, but move through life unnoticed as they help and care, teach others, and do what is truly important. In today's society, humility is often viewed as a witness or a weakness. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, this desirable quality in people is undervalued and not even recognized as a character strength. Humility is the characteristics of our true leadership. So humility is learning from your mistakes and to be humble. You teach people around you how those mistakes can affect your family to keep them from going to jail or being in trouble. Loyalty. Loyalty is one of the most important virtue that we need to instill, especially me as a father, me as an uncle, me as a facilitator. We have to bring back loyalty. I attended a conference not too long ago in Salt Lake City. One of the presenters actually made the statement that under the governor's office for health and human services, a director in those programs actually made the statement that marriage is antiquated. And maybe it's true or not. It still bothers me because I believe in the power of marriage. I seen it through my parents, how they were loyal to one another. And maybe that's how I can overcome my challenges that I face today. So a loyal person is trustworthy and dependable, dedicated and committed, faithful and obedient. Let that kind of sink in. When someone is loyal towards you, you feel special, unique, and important. Trust is developed, and that person can always be counted on. Throughout our lives, we encounter many dangerous and difficult situations. We are often unexperienced about how to handle them. Do you notice today how many people run away from duty, obligation, and responsibility to family? What does this tell us about loyalty? So, the definition of loyalty is enduring till the end. This means to last, continue, remain faithful to keeping our promise. It means we do not quit because of life's problems and temptation. And I can attest to this because I have rowdy cousins that the partners they end up with, they literally were so loyal to each other. They don't drink, they don't fight. They're just a joy to be around them. They're uplifting because they figure out their intimacy level. And right now they're good grandparents. As Native people, we must be loyal to our families no matter the cost. This must be our final stand. Sometimes we are fooled into believing that other things are more important. Invest our time, talents, energy. It causes in causes and relationships that take us away from our family. This is so true because I have children that live and work in other states and sometimes away from their own partner and children. And that's where some of these loyalty become weak, become dismantling. How foolish are we to shift our loyalty to understand or something or someone that will immediately break up our families. We truly require courage and discipline to embrace loyalty. But after all, it is part of our greater heritage. We need to remember our ancestors' beliefs and not betray our own families. When we do this, our children are grateful for your role and faithfulness to as parents. They will carry this gratitude with them in their hearts and generations to come. I like this little exercise right here. Who can tell me if love or trust is more important? What do you think? Is love or trust more important? Okay, how about you, Brad?
Love.
Love. Both? Okay, I got three votes here. How about online? Which is more important, love or truth? Or trust?
Trust.
We got one trust.
Trust.
Trust. Trust.
Love and trust go hand in hand. Where you have both love and trust equals devotion. What is devotion? Right? Consider this. If you trust someone, that trust grows into love. You may not fall in love, but you will love this person. As in other passages before, if you bring love and trust to your children, they will not fear you. They will understand loyalty and patience far better than, and that way they don't have to say trust is more important or love is more important. All of it is put together and is equally important. How and what we give is important. What does this mean? Often it is the much easier to give gifts, praises, and money to those that we love and time to loved ones. When we give only material things, we are selfish and afraid of responsibility of giving the greatest gift of all, our love and devotion to others. A child's love, right? How do children spell love? As adults, right? We'll say LOVE, but a child will spell it TIME because the amount of time that a parent devotes to their children That's how they view love. In today's society, that's often hard to do because of our jobs, because of our obligation to keep our family together. We begin to lose time. Oftentimes, children want to be with their parents and spend time with them because they love their parents. A couple who is dating and newly married often feel the same way. Their love for their partner and simply want to spend time together. It is every family's obligation to feel, express, and show love through performing loving acts. I have to have grandchildren to say I love you out loud. It's kind of the hardest thing. Now I actually say it to people I hardly encounter. Like, oh, I'm gonna go now. I love you. Children have to make me say those things. Without loving action, loving words carry no meaning. If one does not perform loving acts for those he loves, it is questionable whether he understands love at all. As parents, it is important for us to create a loving environment in our raising our family. Love is the true measurement of a great parent, just as the true measurement of a man and his family. Love motivates, inspires, strengthens, and distinguishes us as devoted parents. Love conveys a powerful message and gives meaning to life. When we are the happiest, we show love to others through unselfish service. There are many people in this world who need the kind of help that comes only from loving acts, just like opening a door for an elder, right? Or acknowledging an elder. The other day was Mother's Day. I went to the store, to the market with my daughter and her son, my grandson. They got a big giant bouquet of flowers. We were running around town just giving out roses to any lady we saw. And people were like, "What's this?" And they said, "Happy Mother's Day." The true measure of a man is how his children express love. We didn't know some of these people. We just saw them as mothers. Loving acts. How tragic are individuals who find it difficult to express and show love, even though they know the benefits and rewards. Case in point, this morning, I called one of my former coworkers because I had a question. I said, "Hello, this is Matthew." Instead of saying hello, "What do you want?" So I just played along and I made it a point. When that conversation was over, I said, "Have a good day, sir. I love you." And I pushed the hung up button. Wonder what he's thinking now. Children learn how to love by how they are loved. What is our time here? 41. So fidelity. Fidelity is the quality of being faithful, devoted, and loyal to the promises you've made to your partner. Today, as in past generations, fidelity between partner is crucial in order to have a trusting and stable and happy marriage. It is more challenging for today's partner, and society says through movies, television, and more open lifestyle that fidelity is okay. Many say it is unacceptable to indulge in infidelity because everyone is doing it. So, have you ever heard some of these self-destructive, misleading comments? I'm only hurting nobody but myself. I deserve this. This is only about me, not my relationship. What does it matter? My partner's probably doing it anyway. So it should be a no-brainer that infidelity destroys lives. It always has, and it always will. Infidelity is not your friend. It never has been. It never will be. Infidelity will rob you of your family and your potential. That's one of the greatest threats that we face in our communities today because of social media, right? I've seen some of these websites. Grandma used to tell my cousins, my sister, as a lady, as a Navajo lady, you don't show your belly button. You don't show your legs because that sun in the sky is a very jealous entity. When he can see these portions of your body, he knows other men can. So cover it. I see children today that have a different lifestyle.
Sorry, but we don't honor anything that has jealousy or.
What's that? So, infidelity start with lies, hiding, and sneaking around. Do not be misled by brief moments of pleasure. For a time, cheating makes everything seem wonderful and great. Almost as quickly as it starts, it will end. Unfaithful people eventually break up and destroy families. Your love for your family begins to fade. Bitterness, jealousy, and hatred set in and begin to grow. On the other hand, when we stay true to our partners, by keeping promises, we begin to have greater trust and respect to each other. We become to experience a deeper commitment and happiness, and our love increases along with the peace of mind. Forgiveness. And forgiveness has two major components and each equally important: forgiving others and forgiving ourselves. It is hard to do, of course. The price is often too high, but it is well worth our efforts. Failure to do so continues the feelings and retention of revenge, hatred, and bitterness. It brings misery and requires the one who carry it with it. I learned that you can start by forgiving, about praying for the people that offended you, that hurt you in those ways. That's how Grandma explained it. It's going to be hard to forgive a person right to their face. But if you pray for that person to learn that what they did to you or others is causing pain, is causing unpleasant feelings, then that's the starting point for forgiveness also. Forgiveness is powerful. It heals and unites family. The principle of forgiveness applies more importantly for families than any other institution. In a relationship, we must understand that we are dealing with people who are not perfect, including ourselves. In marriage, in our families, it is unfair to expect perfection if we cannot forgive ourselves. Mistakes, offenses, and unfair judgment are often cause for misunderstanding and create conflict. If we are not careful, this can turn into resentment and can even grow into hatred. These feelings are often referred to as the poison that affect our bodies. Untreated, it'll grow out of control and even destroy our life. Remember, life moves forward. We can't go back. How unfortunate when anger, resentment, bitterness begins to keeps us from moving forward. By learning to forgive each other, we may have cause us greater pain. We can release this heavy burden. After releasing anger and bitterness, we can move forward quickly and find happiness. Forgiveness is so much more than saying I'm sorry. Although it is a starting point, it is the process of change to our thoughts, beliefs, and attitude toward others and life itself. When we forgive ourselves and others, we are blessed with joy and peace while find solution to life's problems. Forgiving ourselves and others is the only healthy way to move forward. What other alternatives do we have? It stands to reason that forgiveness is the only way. We must understand that we need to forgive others to be forgiven. Likewise, we must be able to forgive ourselves. Forgiveness must be heartfelt and much more than an expression of words. I developed these slides for one of our presentations in capacity builders. Is there any questions? I'm done with the presentation. Thank you. I can entertain any questions. Did I put everybody to sleep?
Thanks, Matthew. I don't got no questions.
Okay.
I have a question, maybe just more like some experience uh strategy or anything you can I guess expound on. I'm in the process of trying to forgive myself. I'm um out there. I'm currently in a family services hearing coming up soon to get reunified with my three daughters. So, which is, I have a lot of hope for that. My facilitator says I'm doing good with my, getting my life back on track. my wife had passed away 3 years ago, and I just went off the deep end. So I'm trying to, forgive myself, because trying to get over the fact where, I hated what I did. I hated losing time with my family. And yes, I'm trying to, you know, getting back my strength, my hope, getting reunified with my girls, doing the programs that I've been doing, being about, let's see, 6, 7 months sober now. So trying to keep that going, So what experience, strategies would you have with getting over the fact where you're, where the worst person you're trying to forgive was yourself for losing all that time? To truly say, I right now I can't say I truly forgive myself just because, I'm using it as motivation, I guess, in the same way to keep going where like, man, I really hated myself. I still kind of, for what I did, it's still fresh in my memory, losing all that time, whether, it'd be going to jail, going back again and saying, man, it's going to take too long to try and get on the right path, which finally I am, but just losing that time, that's what I'm kind of mad at myself is. So if you have any, insight to that part when it's still fresh.
Like the whole presentation illustrated, find your truth. Find your truth. And one of the best exercises you can do to forgive yourself and to forgive others, it has to do with prayer. I love it when my Uncle Pooley says, ask him, give you guidance. I like what my uncle, Mr. Pooley, says. Prayer is your intimate conversation with the Creator. The purpose of prayer is to put the Creator in your heart to help you face your challenges. And I understand exactly what you're asking, and when you learn the truth about yourself, you're gonna learn patience, right? Then the stuff that you're asking for, it won't happen overnight. Maybe how grandma says, these adversities we face is not for no reason. It's not in vain. These things happen to us for a greater purpose. Further down the line, we're going to understand other people's pain, other people's adversity, and we're going to have the power to say what can comfort them. Look at it that way, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, I'm just slow, learning that. At first, I didn't have the patience, I was in jail and, like, oh man, it's going to take too long. But now, after, I'm there now, I was at first, you're like, man, I got to be in jail another month or two. I don't know if I can do that. But now, like you said, the patience and thank you for your presentation. It looks, seems like all the stuff is related. So I'm just figuring that out all over again. So thank you, Matthew.
Oh, if there's no more questions, I still want to have Darlene Shama close out with a prayer. It is 11:56.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, I'll go ahead and close in prayer. Akihach, Stigamboli, his corner, a sale, corner, no, after corner, a large corner. Presentation, now you draft the from load on this, and getting 8 on this corner. Squash, the other corner, a corner on this corner. Then Texas and then you corner, a corner, which another bit deal, a corner. بالنقيضين كود إياه فيات إيه نادا دوجنش يندورون أدو كود إيه هون نجن جنو إياه نادا نيك خافة إنادا نيت إيه دولة تبقى إياه بس الجهة نانش إيه دولة كود كريوي كود إيه كونيكا نكي كونجو نخا إنهو بنا هنده إذا هنا نوش كونجو أدو إنجد نشاء إيه دولة Amen.
Oh, amen.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us for today. Matthew, thank you again for the wisdom and for sharing some of your perspective and insight on Teachable.
Thank you, Nali.
Oh, thank you for logging in. I do apologize that the slides were being weird.
Thank you, guys.
I wonder what happened when I filled out the form. It sent me a Zoom link, and so I followed that Zoom link, and it took me somewhere else. And I met up with Anthony, and another person was in there too.
Sorry about that. I think we might have sent the wrong. In the beginning, it might have sent you somewhere else. But you did get my email, right?
Which email?
I sent the email for the Zoom today, this morning, because I saw your see, I saw that you guys' registration came in this morning, earlier this morning, and then I
Yeah.
sent the email with the Zoom link.
Yeah. It's just that the confirmation email when we signed up uh gave us different passcodes, and I think it's for a different meeting room. Uh, but we were able to get a hold of the email that you sent earlier today, which managed to get us in, so we're good.
All right. Sorry about that.
One flyer got me here directly. That's the one I was sharing in my emails and stuff.
Yeah, for those of you that want to, we do have a Wednesday evening session of addressing family violence and abuse as well. If you would like the Zoom link for that, you can email me and I'll send that over. And that one you can attend by Zoom too. It's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that's Phoenix. We start at Phoenix time.
Okay.
All right.
You.
Yes, I'll be able to send you something. And we do have this recorded, so it will be on our website as well at NativeAmericanFathers.org or the NAFFA website. So we can get this over to our website, and Matthew will also send you a copy of it.
Cool.
Other than that, we're done.
I put my email in the chat too, so in case you're interested. Thank you.
m.austin@capacitybuilders.info.
Malcolm, look at the chat too. Okay,
Yes,
like,
definitely, Isaac. Yes, we can get you something over. Proof of attendance.
Okay. See you guys later.
Have a good day.
How do I get out of here?
Okay, thank you everybody. Matthew or Malcolm, I'll go